Welcome to Sports Zone 247, your ultimate source for all things football. Stay up to date with the latest football news. Match highlights, transfer rumors, player updates, and in-depth analysis from top leagues around the world. Our first news is Newcastle United made a U-turn over Alexander Isak. Pride is stinging. Alexander Isak may well have overplayed his hand at Newcastle United this summer in his attempts to join Liverpool. Indeed, the Newcastle United owners rarely make statements so quickly but were forced into action when Isak broke his silence on Instagram. Isak wants to join Liverpool, but the chances of that appear to be fading rapidly. Things could still change, of course, but Newcastle have confirmed they do not expect to see their conditions for a sale being met during what remains of the summer transfer window. The fact that Newcastle have tried to replace Isak would suggest they were at least exploring the idea of letting him go. The situation, however, may have changed behind the scenes earlier this week. Miguel Delaney has shared some interesting insight. Newcastle United make Alexander Isak U-turn. Writing in his Inside Football newsletter, Delaney revealed that Newcastle had been willing to be pragmatic over Isak's future. Indeed, various reports have previously suggested that if the club had two forwards, they could have sold the Swede if Liverpool were to meet their valuation of around £150 million. Luke Edwards of the Daily Telegraph wrote on X earlier this week, "Well, the stance has been pretty clear. Pay £150 million if we sign two strikers this summer, one of which has to be of equal quality to Isak, and maybe we'll do this dance." Delaney, meanwhile, said, "The truth is that players agitate for a move, because, in the words of one insider, they know it generally works. Clubs don't want to keep someone that is causing problems, and ultimately want full value." That's one reason it has been a distinctive theme of this summer, with Brentford's Jon Wissa offering a mirror of Isak. The strategy is often described as player power, but it's actually because their power is surprisingly limited. They only have brief periods of leverage, as Isak may find if he is still at Newcastle next Tuesday. He added, "The mistake that Isak has made is in provoking more emotion in a case that had previously been mostly business. Newcastle were willing to be pragmatic. Now, their pride is stinging. Liverpool are currently highly unlikely to get their man. When Alexander Isak could play for Newcastle United again. The transfer window is still open, of course, so there remains a chance Isak could leave. It will be interesting to see if Liverpool bid again after Monday night's huge Premier League clash between the two sides. However, as it stands, Newcastle don't expect Isak to play again until the transfer window is shut. That would mean he could return when Newcastle host Wolves on Saturday, September 13, 2025. Our last news is Harvey Elliott has decided if he wants to stay at Liverpool or join RB Leipzig this summer. Harvey Elliott's future at Liverpool has been brought into question for most of the summer transfer window. The attacking midfielder is still just 22 years old, and seeing as though he already has plenty of Premier League experience under his belt, it's clear that he's destined for great things. The midfielder has been in and around Liverpool's first-team squad for a fair few years now, and even though Arne Slot didn't give him much playing time last season, when called upon, he's always come through. However, after Elliott's starring performance at the Under-21 Euros this summer, it's not a surprise to see the Englishman debating whether to make an Anfield exit to earn more game time. Harvey Elliott has outlined RB Leipzig as his preferred destination. Plenty of teams from the Premier League and the Bundesliga have shown an interest in the midfielder this summer. As mentioned, he's still just 22 years old, and with the way that things have panned out for him so far, it's clear that he needs to take that next step up to become a regular within Thomas Tuchel's England squad. And now, as per a fresh report from Give Me Sport, it seems like Elliott's preferred course of action has been revealed. According to the report, Elliott has pinpointed RB Leipzig as the next place he wants his career to take him. The Bundesliga outlet are set to lose Xavi Simons to Chelsea and will be in need of a replacement number 10. This comes despite Fulham making checks on whether a return to Craven Cottage could entice him. Harvey Elliott moving to RB Leipzig makes plenty of sense. Although a fee wasn't discussed in the report, if Liverpool's selling record is anything to go by, this summer, it's evident that they'll be squeezing the most amount of money possible out of a deal. Even though the Englishman was out of favor last term, it's evident that there's still a more than impressive player within him that can provide for a team if needed. Since Elliott first joined Liverpool, he's been one of the youngest members of the squad and has always been under scrutiny from both rival fans and some of the media. Elliott moving to the Bundesliga this summer would help get him out of the limelight and would allow him to just focus on his football, which, at this stage in his career, is extremely important. At the moment, it's anyone's guess what could happen, but if Elliott wants to take his career up to the next level, a move is exactly what's needed. If you love football transfer updates, league news, and all things soccer, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's stay connected and keep up with the latest from the world of football together.